Heroic performance there from the Danes, as we do see them find the first. I just realized I can't say the Danes, because indeed it was a Viking affair. Janko's laughing at me, he's joining me by Chad. And we do see Heroic take it in the end. And after a performance on the T side that many will be talking about for a while, they managed to close it out on the second. Chaddy.
They also have less Danes. They have a Swede and Norwegian.
Well, at this point is Danish.
Is he? Does he live it? Does he live
here?
here?
Yeah, I think he
He's
even
been
lives
Danish
in
for a while
Copenhagen.
now.
Yeah.
He's fake Swede.
Him and Asilian go and watch movies every day.
Yeah, that's weird.
In cinemas. Why is that weird?
Well, who goes to the cinemas every day?
Yeah, but they're just mates.
They can be mates. I'm just saying, I don't know. I got no problem with
Where
them being
did
friends.
the cinema thing start from?
People like, yeah, well, you know, there are people who like going to the cinema.
I'm just curious about people who go to the cinema every day.
I went to the cinema yesterday.
Did you
watch
really?
Black Panther.
What did you think?
It was alright.
Oh.
Just alright?
It wasn't crazy.
Can you give it a rating out of 10?
Like a 6.5.
6.5 out of 10.
Oh, no.
Is it bad? Am I supposed to really like it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was fantastic.
There we go.
Cool.
It was meh. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, reviews aside, let's review the map of Counter-Strike. It was Nuke, and let's talk about it like we just did a synchronized nod. That made me very happy. Janko, hit me with some of that hard-hitting analysis. Where did they go wrong for North?
They lost both pistols.
There it is. Okay, all right, we'll wrap it up. Into Inferno we're going next.
No, I said that Yugi was going to be an influential factor missing for Heroic.
Yeah.
Turns out they don't need him. Turns out that there's still a really good nuke, North nuke, too many ends. There's way too many of those. Going Alex, you're breaking the joint as well,
Just
mate.
wanted to make sure we
Yeah.
had
All right. Anyway,
This segment.
this is just this is a train wreck from the beginning, isn't it?
Should we reset?
No. Hold on. Hold up. You want to do
Come
the
down
scene,
with me.
right?
Come
Okay,
down.
hold
We'll raise
Here
up.
we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, wait.
Yanko's not playing.
He's not participating.
I'm fine. You guys are the
All right,
one
ready?
losing
Okay.
it.
Hold on.
3, 2, 1. All right, guys, we're going to be talking all about this one. Snappy putting in a fantastic performance with the AWP. Sans Yugi and still performing. We get to see some highlights of what he was up to with that Zoom banger. And he's actually clearing out yard quite nicely.
Yeah, we did talk about him picking up that AWP in lieu of Yugi not playing as well as Nico. And everybody in the team for Heroic had really good games, positive ratings across the board. And on their CT side, definitely locking out North. They only got the bomb down twice. And when they got the bomb down, they're able to win the round. So actually being able to defend, very solid. That's a fantastic thing. We still don't know where this map's swinging. Janko and I are going to have this debate once we get off air. But look, early stages for this map still, and it's good signs that teams are making the adaptations they need to. Heroic staying strong with that under control on their T side. It's looking fantastic.
Yeah, North T side go falling flat, just 3 rounds on their T side. We venture into Inferno next, a map that, of course, we're all too familiar with at this point in time, especially in the Pro League, getting a lot of play. Most teams seem comfortable
7 this week.
Good God, 7 Infernos this week. It does feel like Mirage and Inferno have just been thrust into the kind of mainstay of everyone's comfortable. I feel like Cash used to be there and has fallen far, far from it.
And they're brawl maps too, right? They turn out to be these slugfests that always seem to go all the rounds, all the maps, all the time, everything, right? We're getting all the stuff you want to see on these 2 maps. So it's good to watch for excitement levels, but you're not seeing a lot of new ideas coming in, and no one's really reinventing the wheel in the approach. It's just everyone is kind of just changing things a little bit.
Interesting enough, head-to-head, Heroic have never won Inferno versus North, despite being so close-knit head-to-head. It's like 7-8 in total, with, of course, rosters accounted for, but they've never managed to pick up an Inferno win. So North's Inferno, pretty good, Janko? Pretty goddamn good, Janko?
Yeah, I think for them it's obviously going to be difficult to pinpoint their map pool at the moment. They at least seem willing to play a lot of Inferno, but then again, everyone's willing to play a lot of Inferno at the moment. So I think because of the whole standing situation, maybe we should focus a bit more on the map. And one of the reasons why it's so volatile potentially at the moment is, I think actually a big deal is the A apartments, right? Everything is so spammable. It's basically paper thin in there that some of those setups that you had in the previous iterations of the map, they're just not viable anymore. You know, you just get spammed in the first 30 seconds, a bit reminiscent of Nuke in 1.6, right? Those early stages of the round. So that really denies an avenue of approach for the CTs, a sort of an aggressive setup that they could go for, and focuses most of their attention in terms of aggression towards Banana. I think there's, you know, an opening there in terms of mid-round aggression towards mid, some information plays, but we'll see. It seems at the moment a lot of teams are willing to just go for different passive setups where it's predominantly in the site or in pit.
I'll let you make your point, Chad, but I just want to add it into the mix as well, the conversation of where would that CT aggression come from. And in so many maps, it's so clear. Cobblestone is the one with the outlier where we talk about how difficult it is. But when you talk about Inferno CT aggression, I just feel like your options are either strafe out middle and see what happens.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
do some, as Yanko likes to talk about, you know, the B aggression, like
Yes.
retaking banana. That doesn't feel like the same as like pushing up mid on Mirage. It doesn't have the same taste to it.
Alex, if we had a few more people in the studio right here, we could set that up and I'd show you the transitional defense that we could do on middle and the re-aggression you could have.
We can wrestle if you want.
I don't want to wrestle. But
I'll do a forward roll before the season's
basically,
over.
if you want to go for early aggression on Inferno, it has to be banana, or you can go for something a bit more exotic, you know, pushing up into the apartments and getting quick before the spam comes in. Now, I'm not talking about jumping up the hay cart. I'm talking about running through boiler room, getting your skates on and making it down the stairs, having your teammate flash. So you can. It's risky plays, right? You can even do things. I was like flirting with the idea back on the old version of Inferno, 3 set smokes that went into alt middle. Like, so one would cover the balcony where they would look into window room, one would land on the ground so they couldn't look up and cover off like also the bridge area. The other one would also be mid. So we'd push 2 people window room, 1 person halls, and 2 people down mid, and we'd actually take a gamble and fight alt mid and then rotate back through. Risky plays, not things that like are go-tos by any means. So has to be transitional, right? You set up, you feign the defense on either side of middle, you throw out some utility. When they throw theirs, you can drop back. They have to use flashes, smokes, molotovs, nades, and everything to actually clear that area. You're not even there. Now you're back in the site. Now you're back at the next bit. Yeah. You can retake mid. There's so many things you can do that teams, I don't think, are doing properly at the moment on Inferno. It's just maybe they think that they either want to go for the full fight or play very passive early.
While we're on the topic, of course, of Inferno and North specifically, they are playing. Let's not forget, just last week in Pro League, we saw a ridiculous thrashing on Inferno with North. It was Envy, I believe, 16-3. Yeah. Do you remember that one? We were like, wait, why is this game over already?
That was
Scream
a weird
had 25
one.
frags, and we just kind of raised our hands and went, what?
Because it was Envy.
Right.
Yeah, but Envy won.
Envy won, 16-3.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, he's right. Because it was Envy.
That's the answer.
They're a really good team.
They had XMS.
No, well, but here's the thing,
I
right?
think it's one of those outlier games, right?
But do just write it off. Don't take anything from it.
Sure.
Okay.
No, but it's not just that. Like, obviously, you know, remembering that game, it was a lot of aggression early on from NBS. It was a dominant game on the T side as well. It wasn't a shutout CT side. So they were just brute forcing their way in, getting those entry kills. Cream had a great game. So, you know, I think that was a one-off in that sense. But, you know, another problem when you look at Inferno and the way things are going right now is, you know, a lot of focus is being put in banana and those early fights. And I think across the map, people don't do much mid-round, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we put the deep banana smokes, and if we can get one player there and then rotate 4A, and that's it, we've succeeded, we've won the round, which isn't the case as much.
I think something is really interesting, right? Because the way that it evolved on the old Inferno, when banana control was so adamant, teams were sending 2 to 3 players there at the start, right? Because you'd want the smoke and you'd want the extra smoke with the Molotovs, and then you'd rotate that player. And once Yanko's saying you have the 4 at A, you don't need as many smokes and Molotovs because you just set up crossfires, or you set up like 2-man defenses on different parts. On this, like, then the Ts would evolve to the sense of when the CTs would smoke top mid, they would just walk behind the smoke and pop flash through very quickly and take the 2 A defenders on and just beat them and then have the bomb site, and it's very difficult to retake. We haven't seen that adaptation come in yet, and I'm not sure why. That old pop flash style that Fnatic used to do isn't something that a lot of teams have brought into their game plan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's something that I want to see more from that. You guys have listed like 6 or 7 things that could come back or could be experimented with. We'll see if we see any of it in this next game. It does sound like we're about to be kicking off, though. Inferno will be the next match between these 2 Danish rivals, Heroic versus North. There is still a bit of an argument, Lauren, for best team in Denmark. Both of these guys are throwing their hat into the ring.
Sure, I guess there is that, but I think when we see these guys on Nuke, for example, I think if anyone remembers what everyone's mentality, especially from the Danish team, was that Heroic will always be one of the best teams on that, simply out of that region. I think we'll be brought back to normal when we go into Inferno.
Back to reality?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of... I think Astralis is firmly #1 still, in my opinion. I know that
These
it's...
2, though.
Yeah, honestly, I see just as many problems in the way that they play as much as I do good. Like, I was really excited for this new North lineup, and I think there is still a lot of potential. I just need to see more from it, and obviously it's tough to read Heroic without Yugi, but I don't think they're quite to that level as of yet. But yeah, I think that this is it's interesting, this whole Danish battle, because last year we were arguing not only who's #1 in Denmark, but arguably the world, because Denmark was so far ahead. Now it's like the opposite. It's like, let's just salvage what we can, boys.
Yeah, one team to survive and carry on forward and, you know, not join Optic. And speaking of aggression, we had this discussion. Heroic are going right into it. And should I say Nico? Again, these pistols looking pretty interesting here. Heroic are really wanting to get these in the bag, it seems. North could do with this, but they are just cornered in spawn, getting absolutely backhanded here. Oh, Mertz and Valde actually managing to at least stem the bleeding.
Well, they're going to work back up toward Mertz with his 9 HP. I was trying to find a way to glorify that. You really can't. He's only got 9. Bomb as well, covered by Stag. Stag, I think you're right in saying Stag. I just always say Stag because I'm lazy.
To be fair, I asked him and he said he doesn't care.
Yeah, no one seems to care. I don't care either. You can call me whatever you like. Sadicus, Sadicus, Trivet, whatever Alex says. Esatag, he's still holding toward the bottom of Banana. Bomb has been recovered, but now it's not. And that 9 HP, ooh. I think they just spray it. Do it. You got pistols. They're going to push it, actually. They're going to push it. Oh, that P250 nearly found the first kill. 12 HP for Maudie. Oh, that could have been a little hairy against a P250.
Gets a little unnerving, doesn't it? But yeah, Heroic going to kick things off by just running at them. And I'm not against it. I kind of like it. Overall, I'd still say that North are going to be the superior team on this map. Unless maybe Heroic just come out swinging, right? It's like, if they're going to keep this sort of pace up, if they're feeling that confident about it, why not? You know what I mean? Like, that's where things can actually get fun in this matchup, if we see Heroic kind of throwing these curveballs at them. And for now, we've got the UMPs out. Plenty to be seen. Full utility as well, which is super nice on this map. Deep smokes, Molotovs to follow. Keeping North kind of herded into one area.
Kirby. Small pit, trying to make something happen with AZ and Mertz. These pistols. CZ's, only one CZ. More CZ's. That's what the doctor always says. Did you have your vitamins today? Did you drink milk? Get that calcium? Did you purchase a CZ? And every time I say no, he says, well, that's why you feel like trash and why you keep dying when you only have pistols.
See, I was trying to think of like an apple a day, the snacks thing. And I was good. Honestly, like my brain wants me to be smart and good at my job, and then it just stops.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, it just, clearly not enough calcium, vitamins, and everything else.
A CZ a day keeps the guns away, the ecos away, but you kind of have to have an eco. I don't know. We'll get back to it. Rubino for 2, Snappy for 3, clean kill. Good crossfire setup. Heroic making easy work of North, trying to work out from the apartments. And yes, okay, there is an argument, who's the next best. Heroic beat them in that end. That goes against what I said. I just think North still carries more weight behind them, but
well, you'd hope so.
They're certainly struggling.
These players, right?
Yep.
You've got Kiebi in there now, who's was the big storyline leading to Katowice in a couple of events, well, like moments prior. Mert, these guys, everyone knows that the money they get, it's an impressive amount. They get treated really well. Big storylines behind these guys, so you kind of hope that they'd have the results to then support that. Astralis were that team not too long ago. They took the best team's title, and Heroic have always been kind of like building in the background. They've never been the ones that everyone kind of put their attention towards. Sure, they had Yugi, who's very, very talented. Everyone can see that, and they always do okay at events. They never have those like big dropouts for me. They're always there, but they just need that one big push. And I feel that eventually this could happen. Now, obviously, they are still playing with a stand in 5th, so this could all be for nothing when we get to the gun rounds and suddenly North just take control. But for now, they should be getting the first 3 pretty cleanly, build up some great money, especially with that many UMPs on the board and SMGs throughout.
Snappy. Swings out. Okay, fair enough. Nade did do a bit of damage, but finally Snappy gets what he wanted. Not quite what he wanted. He wanted an ace. Surely at that point, you want the ace. Rubino gets the final kill. Won't matter. He gets a lot of money for his 4 kills. As such, he's up to $9,500, and we're on round 4. Not too bad, especially when you're the AWP player, or at least temporarily you're the AWP player.
Yeah, it's like, it's finally my chance to have some fun, guys. Thank you, Yugi. But he did have a good spawn as well. I wonder if he's going to take that towards middle, do something a little spicy with it, or if he's going to keep it tame. It does look like the tame option. Didn't have the front spawn for B, but towards A instead. But he will be taking himself over there early. So Hero going for the 3-man play, probably going to just flash him in, let him take the fight. Esatag actually stick on the UMP, and a lot of them staying on the SMGs. We saw this, I think, on Nuke as well, if I'm not mistaken. They like to stick on the UMPs and everything else. Go for that, was that titled something special for you? Was it the Jaden round after a while?
The Jaden round, yeah.
Yeah. So, they're giving it a go. Why not?
She's the queen of the world, so it's fine.
I just want to mention your dog so you smile, Matt.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing. Like, Matt's, like, serious for a while. He'll joke around, but you want to see him purely happy? Mention his dog.
Yeah. She's chilling. She was at the bar last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My sister took her to the bar.
That's adorable.
She just had a bone laid on the floor. Everyone was drunk around her. She was right at home. It was like I was there almost. Zvalda and Chiari with kills. Work down from the apartments. Rubino and Maudie. 2 that they quickly dispose of, and as such, open up the site and get the bomb plant. This should be their round all day long. So Snappy just needs to save the AWP to carry that over so as not to reinvest 47.5. But where they kept a lot of SMGs, as you mentioned, the Jaden rounds, Just going to let that sink in for a minute. They'll be able to buy again on the next one.
What a start for Snappy there. Obviously helped by that UMP round when they all came towards him, but got to feel good. S-Tag being teased, toyed by the AK. He wants to go at it, and it's the forbidden fruit. KIB's keeping control of that. No grabbing. Get your hands off. Snappy, though, desperately trying to keep control of this AWP as well. If he can stay alive and keep that, that's great news. That was a big investment this round, considering how much money he had. Does he see him? He does, and he wants to back away. He saw other shots come through. He knows someone else is close by, but for now as well, North want to keep their money, keep their repurchases quite minimal, keep the money well spread. And on the other side, Hero can go for the full buy now.
I like how he shot at the exact time that the bomb went off, so it was like an extra epic noise. It's one hell of an op. So 5 AKs this time for North. Carrying back over from the win. Snappy does still have the AWP saved in the last round. No head armor for Rubino, but against 5 AKs, not the biggest deal.
Yeah, you can get on with that. Now, I'm wondering how North approaches if they go as kind of aggressive as we've seen them play, if it slows down. North can be one of those very aggressive teams. Deep smoke towards CT Arch, going to force Snappy into a bit of an awkward predicament. He loses control of top middle. That means that the T's could be up by quad. They could start building that pressure, because really Heroic aren't playing with, you know, full vision here. They're playing quite deep on these sites. You've got Modi towards the pit. Molotov's come in. He's going to be forced away from this, but he's going to go right back up close. That's big play from Modi. It might play in Rubino here, but they're going to check for it, but not quick enough. He gets away with one, and that plays in Snappy off the back. The trade stay favorable to Heroic, considering if Snappy can stay alive, and he does great finding Mertz, leaving just one man.
That's one way to get aggressive with the AWP. Gets super forward in the site, finds the kill toward the pit. Bomb gets planted, but it won't, excuse me, didn't even get planted. What am I saying?
You have to back from it. That nade was right on his feet, I think.
Exactly. So either way, 4-1 for Heroic. They succeed in winning the subsequent round after the bonus. Keep the AWP again for Snappy, and was impressive with it with just the 2 kills, but the second one certainly took some balls. Now, this does mean that North still has a little bit left. If they got that plant down, you'd see a lot more for them, but they still do have 2 AKs to work with. Oh, Snappy. That's close.
Yeah, it's the one where I'm like staring at the HP bars of North, because like I'm wondering where that shot went. It must have just been off, but I mean, very close stuff. And speaking of close, that CZ, those UMPs are going to be having to be brought right up close here. You want to bring them to bear, but wondering where they take this. A pretty default round from North. Not really, you know, committing masses anywhere. They do have some decent banana control. This attack can be played in pretty quickly, though, with a flash. If Nico wants to set that up for him, he does have one in hand, I'm pretty sure. So if there's that close information, that's the playoff. It great stuff. Considering this is a stand-in, they've got these nice kind of little back and forths. They're already kind of building a nice little bit of chemistry between each other. That's great news.
So MSL to wait. Mertz already lining up his smoke. Volta just looks at his, or the remains of his teammate. Seeing if there was anything there perhaps, but now he's set for the flash. Skybox bounce? Curious to see where that one lands. But nonetheless a B hit. They've already got a slight rotation happening as well, as Modi is inched ever closer, in fact, all the way to the front side of the ruins. Here we go. There's the skybox bounce. Right on top of Orange's 2. Does land perfectly for Stag. It doesn't really do much for Nico behind New Box. It's very one-dimensional in that it blooms so close to the box itself. But look at the lineup. Nico with 2. As the tag gets in for another one as well. And it's 5-1 for Heroic.
They're stringing these together, Matt. I mean, this is looking pretty solid. Look at the money for North as well. That's completely depleted. I think most people are below 2. Ooh, we've rewound so far. We're on Mirage.
Mirage, yeah, that's not bad.
Damn,
Replay Machine's got some talent. That or it's in the future.
Oh.
Do we think of that?
Back to the Future.
Ooh.
You
the paradoxical. I get it.
Things are getting real deep here. I mean, this is, you know, it's a whole new world. Jason just doesn't, you know, we don't have these conversations.
He's a simple man, Jason.
He'll be here soon enough. I'm not going to start flaming him yet.
Admirable. Oh, he's here. He's outside the door.
I didn't mean it, Jason. You know? I'm sorry. And speaking of sorry, North might be soon. They're in trouble. They've got like under 2K on this buy. I mean, they're kind of screwed. This could be what, 6-1, and then 7-1 you get to have a fight, but their money's really unpleasant. They've been reset at really rough times or kind of forced back. Their money's never gotten going. They've had these shoddy buys that have been dealt with pretty well. I'm a little worried here.
Naturally. Glocks. Glocks. I was trying to do a la 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 la, but instead of a r, I can't do it.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's
This
just
is what a stroke
accents.
sounds like. Do you smell toast? Is
Ooh,
it?
do I?
Wait,
Is that what that is?
no.
I did just eat some bread, but
That's not how it comes back out of you, Matt.
no,
That's not.
wow. You never know. 2 apartments, all 5. Smoke in front of them. That's always discouraging. I like how Kiabi's like, hey, you guys go. I'll watch behind us. In other words, I know where this is going, so I'll go last. Maybe it's good that he did. He could bait his teammates, he and AZ, and they get some kills. Kills that'll let me taken away. Oh, Kiabi gets another one. So that's actually all right. The fact they got 2 kills with just Glocks coming out of the apartment's not too bad. No bomb plant, but that's fine. 6-1. North buying back in immediately.
They've taken away some of the, bank fund that these guys have had growing for a little bit. So good to force the repurchase. Otherwise, several players would be sitting up on like 6, 7K towards that marker. Most still are, but I mean, still, silver linings. And they are pretty slim at this point. 6-1. Probably to be 7-1, unless North can pull themselves together here. I kind of want to see more from this. They've just seemed a little flat. Heroic are making all the moves. And they're good. Now, onto this one. Heroic again with a 3-play stack. Now, that's a problem.
Oh.
Rubino being able to get away with this. And Modi was the one to put him down? I thought that nade was like from AZ or something. Or somehow he got that through, but no. A teammate drops it down, maybe just let it go as he was in that fight, hoping to help him out, but help wasn't needed. He was fine.
Nade would have killed him, but he took just enough damage as it was in the air. Bit of a miscue there. There's no real need for Marty to be nading that with his teammates still down that low. He'll go back to the pit. Snappy, meanwhile, over toward B. We'll have some pressure applied as Kiabi baits out a shot all too easily, I'm afraid. You either got to be too quick or too slow. And by slow, I mean have nerves to not fire at shoulder baits. None of that made sense. Let's just forget all that.
No, I wanted to let you dwell on that. I wanted it to really let it settle in.
Yeah, it's settled.
Like, the thing is, I could see what you're going for there as well. Like, I felt it. I believed it. I was working it. Nope. North, though, trying to make something work too, but it doesn't have seemed... It hasn't landed either. Esatag's here and towards the passive side of CT Arch. They haven't over-rotated anywhere. Esatag is heading back towards B a little bit, so maybe falling for it a touch, but there's still 2 players, and it's a very hard crossfire to break through. You've got one on site, one towards a small side of pit, but Nico caught in a bit of a transitional period then. That could have been a bit awkward, but no. Modi's there in the right time as well. Nico's one to shut down Mertz, but it's just on to AZ now in the 1v3, and it's just going to be buying time here. Nico doesn't need that fight. He could have waited it out. Bomb does get toyed with, but I'm not sure if he can get the plant off. He's going to go for it. Esatag's up close and personal, and he does eventually get the kill, but not before the plant. But at this point, if you're North, you need more than just those silver linings of like, oh, we got the plant, oh, we got kills. You kind of need a round.
Absolutely. No, they definitely need to start getting some numbers on the board because Heroic are running with this game as well, and North looking rather lackluster. Nico, good play inside of the site. Second shot was quite crisp. And then AZ. All right, fair enough. You fought back, but didn't win the round, as you say. It had to be priority uno.
Uno más.
So back to pistols yet again for North.
Yeah, and it feels like for them, they haven't been off this, at least what it feels like. Through the Molotov we go, and they take a lot of damage, actually. They're all pretty low here. Mertz, MSL, Kiebi, and it's the trial by fire, and it's not going particularly well. Another Molotov could be used if they fancy it. But 3 players now for Heroic over here. The other 2 not going to over-rotate either in case they try and turn it. But for now, they're just running into the meat grinder. And, well, you can't blame them. They're trying to do something with this, but really it's Heroic all day long. This is a huge scoreline. Like, it started off looking like, okay, well, they've done what they needed to. They went through the pistol round. They won the first gun, and it's never stopped hurting for North here. Finally, they get a purchase, but by this point, you've got a lot of rounds to make up for.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard comeback for them. I mean, we saw the same thing on Nuke where Heroic had a lead and North managed to win the half, but that wasn't even then enough. And at this point in time, to get to 8-7, okay, maybe on Inferno you can turn that around, but that seems almost impossible for them on the harder side. So Mertz, AWP this time certainly makes a difference because he gets snappy fast enough that they can establish a bit of a presence toward Banana. Peculiarly, though, they immediately Molotov it off. I think that Molotov was supposed to go to barrels. Instead, it actually cuts off the top of Banana.
He actually tagged Esatag too. Through the wall, so he's done some really good work there, if I'm honest. Mertz putting in a good performance already, but they need more than just this. They still need that hit to land. They still need a lot more to work for them. And Modi's being relentless. He wants a lot of this action, and he gets away with it somehow. No trade frag to come back in. He gets to fall back away, so back down to the 4v4.
Easy. Sign a boiler. Gonna work his way back out toward the pit, and Rubino just sitting pretty inside of it, not gonna show anything. That smoke thrown, I don't think AZ would have spotted that because he had just gotten in behind the hay bales. Might have been able to get an idea as to exactly where Rubino is, but he's lost that chance. He did find the first kill on Modi, but Rubino could strike while the iron is hot. The smoke down, swings out. The only time to leave pit is when you think you can catch them out exactly like this, and Rubino does perfectly in doing so to find the first kill. Not quick enough to follow it up, though. Gives the other two players, both Volda and Kiabi, a chance to locate, find, and get an angle toward him. It's ESL to try and make a difference with the AWP. North need this desperately with both players staying alive as well.
Don't know how much he's going to get out of this one now. North, they're not stepping away from that site. They know they need to keep control of this. And yeah, ESL going to look for exits at this point. He's kind of run out of time to make the plays, find that second player. Even though they are both on the bomb site, I doubt. Ooh. Surprised they just walked out of that. He does get at least one on the way out there. I mean, give up the round, sure, that's not the end of the world. Heroic still have a nice buffer, but he's making it awkward for them. The money's so low for North.
Yeah, that single kill makes a big difference, actually. Oh, and they lost Volda to the bomb. Okay.
So we have two players who are going to be relatively low on money.
Welcome to the reset potential. North better win this round or they are screwed.
Okay, so one of the players was MSL. He's going to be on the goal. Decent utility still. Mertz goes for the full-on AK and just gets a flash. So they're depending on the others to set this piece up for them, and, you know, that's perfectly acceptable. And the problem being, I guess, if you throw your mind back to how that round really started, it was Mertz with that first kill, gets the tag onto ESL, and then it kind of keeps going from that point. They do really well off the back of it. And now, if that's not a viable option, you've lost out on a lot of map control already as well. This becomes a bit of an issue.
So Volda trying to see up into the smoke. No one there, but that's fine. Doesn't really give anything away that he's at the bottom of the middle, because obviously they're going to be at the bottom of the middle. So let's see if they can work up toward the mid-wall bomb. In the hands of MSL is the furthest one up. That suggests, yeah, okay, he's going to bring it back, but suggests they aren't even looking to go that direction. Ooh, ESL, this could be big. MSL's not going to check it. Checks the, other corner instead. It is harder to hit the headshot when the back is exposed. I get that the hitbox is smaller, but that needed to land. The fact that MSL is able to turn around, 6 HP left and get the kill does slow his entry down. I'm surprised he doesn't throw the bomb to someone with more HP to get inside of the site faster, because now Snappy has a gap in the smoke. They have to re-smoke that, and in doing so, Nico still has position at new box. Did you hear the player drop to his right? I don't think he did. So he could have a problem. Goes out, manages. Fair enough, I'll give him credit for one, because AZ team kills MSL. But now he's got 12 HP and wants to stick the plant. Oh, he's going to be in the open. That's slow sloppy from North. All of this could have been done better. Get the bomb to a high HP player, get it in, don't miss the gap in the smoke to get Snappy the first kill, and then kill your teammate and plant in the wide open with 12 HP. It's just very lackluster. And Rubino is going to make them pay. Volda, I don't think, is going to have anything in this. Madi gets the kill on him, let alone that there was 16 seconds left and 2 players to find.
Yeah, that was a cacophony of mistakes, it felt like. And AZ... I did wonder how he got Snappy then. That was just straight up through the smoke. But yeah, this plant, when you have no ruins control, kind of welcomes that sort of thing.
I mean, I get that he was low HP and probably wanted to get it down quickly, but they had time to work with. He could have relocated. Sure, he's covered from CT by the statue, but has no one watching ruins.
Yeah, this is some beautiful dance moves from the CTs. Good timing on the crouches.
Leg day, boys. Leg day. Never skip leg day. Do you ever do burpees in battalion?
No.
Jump, prone, jump, prone, jump, prone.
Oh.
That's what I do in timeouts.
Well,
burpees.
now it's something I can do. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. 9-2 though, and North. Can you believe it? Would you look at that? Sod all again. CZs that seemingly are as good as rifles sometimes, but we'll see if that holds true to trend, as they are lacking funds. They're lacking rounds. They're lacking a lot at the moment, which is it's kind of curious. They're a team that I thought would be on the rise. I thought this would be a really good stage for them to show that. And it doesn't seem to be the case. Snappy, not being toyed with this time, connects on the first, falls back and waits for the next challenger.
So AWP is going to have just a gallery. That's just, yeah, Snappy's loving it. Thanks for missing another smoke, boys. I will miss my shot to go along with the trend. And then he goes back inside of the site. Corner for Rubino. They want to wrap toward the arch and go to Hyperare, so they're trying to close distance as best they can, but Thag's done the same thing by rotating back towards CT. Maudie slides out, catches off Mertz. Round is done. We go 10-2 for Heroic.
Wow, this has been somewhat of a bloodbath, it feels. Kind of surprising. I guess Nuke felt like, you know, you can kind of chalk that up to, yeah, good map for Heroic, always has been. But this is just kind of scary. I don't know if this is just Heroic playing really well or North being atrocious.
Yeah, MSL's struggling. Can we see that again? 5, 7, 5, 4, 2, all single digits, 13 rounds in. Again, they stack up that position at the bottom of the boiler stairs. They've done that a few times.
They boost it.
Yeah, I know, I like it.
That's really unique.
And we saw the Molotov at once, so I thought that would be like the signaling of the end of it. But even then, they're like, nah, they're not gonna have money this time. We'll do it again. It is neat, but it's very easy to counter. It's just that they haven't had the economy to do it.
I guess that's what Heroic need to be really mindful of as soon as Molotovs come out with a buy. I guess we can't do that.
The other thing is, like, the question for me is that worth boosting? Because it's a headshot controllable angle anyway, based on how far up the stairs you are. I suppose a part of that maybe is that you don't expose anyone to boiler, so if they jump in boiler and they come out, you have more chance. But like, you're putting 2 guys there to do it. I don't know. It's interesting to do maybe once or twice, but
Does seem a little.
Let me know your thoughts on Twitter.
Yeah. And what's the at? They need
at
to.
Sadokist.
Sadokist.
Here we go again.
Well, they do have a Molotov on AZ this time, and he's the one clearing this out.
Yeah, see? This
is the problem, right?
And they Molotoved it last time they had weapons. This time they get one player to force them off it. They trip over each other going out of the door and then completely surround them. Like, it's so easy to counter once you know they're doing it. And you've just lost 2 players. They did get one for it, fair enough. But yeah, it's a lot of commitment. And sometimes I feel like players find boosts and like, oh, check this out. Let's use it. And don't really think it through.
You mean Anders?
Yes.
With everything he ever finds. Completely
Theory
useless.
crafting.
But he'll crowbar it in. He'll find one instance where one thing works. He's like, look, I told you guys.
Got
he loves it.
Nailed it. I'm obscure, so therefore I'm smart.
North, though, finally keeping numbers here. The retake going to be pretty tricky for Nico, and he doesn't get it done, gets put to the dirt. But North needed that. They desperately needed a round back in, whether you say Heroic kind of opened that door for them or not. You know what, at least North this time walked through it rather than stumbling and, I don't know, hitting their shin on something. I mean, it's been pretty rough for them so far. So this might even open up the game a little to be marginally interesting. It's been very one-sided. But the instant answer seems to be double orbs.
I think that's the answer for everything. Oh, is Snappy doing a gun juggle? Oh, no, he's not. Okay. I thought he had an M4. He might have an M4, because I saw him get off the up for a second. I didn't see if he picked it up. Where it's the last round of the half, I thought maybe he's got an M4 to go with it. We did see that from Cloud9 and the Major against FaZe. I think it was Stewie that had both weapons with him at B. Snappy, however, has a smoke in front of him and a Molotov, or rather incendiary, deployed. That's going to be extinguished immediately, but a nade through after they run a little bit through the flames is going to do substantial damage out of both Kiarvi and MSL. Snappy pushes back through the smoke once inside of the site. That's because Nico's rotating over to cover off the arch instead. And not only will he cover it off in terms of getting a kill, but puts flames in the path, and therefore they can't go any further. Snappy's going to get flashed back in. How did that... He scoped in and was already looking down the lane and somehow just completely overlooked him. That's a bit unfortunate.
It's one where you watch the demo back and you're just like, let's skip forward a bit. Just ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. Never happened.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I didn't see it. He wasn't there. North with 3, though. AZ, Mertz, and Valde looking for opportunities here. Take one away, you actually have a viable option to either site, but right now, with 4 alive for Heroic, it gets pretty tricky. And look where that bomb's down as well. So difficult to get through, but the flash was good, but completely blind. North still fight their way forward. Maudie now starts to get a little bit worried in towards Pit, and I don't blame him, but there's a player up by Graveyard that's being played in. Pixel by pixel that they spot. Now, they've taken away a lot of players from A. This kind of plays in well. Rubino, does he wait? No, he pounces on the first chance, and he gets 2. That's good work, but it puts into S-Attack's hands. A 1v1, he's got the AWP on the retake, and there's so much time for this reposition from AZ now. Of course, he doesn't know how close or how far he would be, but AZ chooses to sit in the back of the site. He's just going to wait this out, and we know this is tricky with an AWP, but this attack going to opt for the Deagle. He's going to try and work his way back through. No idea if AZ's left the site, if he's wrapping around CT. So many questions in his mind. You can see him trying to clear through pit right now, but that clock is ticking, Matt.
So Hazy in the corner, trying to find an angle to work, but Tag nails it with the AWP. And the defuse, and the 12th round, 12-3, our comeback score, if anything to look forward to for North. But that's just not good enough, I'm afraid.
No. I do wonder what the analysis desk have to say about this. They'll be, watching with bated breath, of course.
Chad, Yanko, and Alex coming up after this game. That was like, you were like doing one of those like TV
I like
plugs.
that. Yeah, that was good.
I could have done it like, don't forget, coming up at the halftime break. We don't take it.
Do you reckon you have that broadcasting voice? Can you make it happen?
No.
No?
Definitely not. No.
No, I don't think any of us have it, really, do we?
No.
Can we hire someone?
Yeah,
Just for the voice?
I'm down.
Just for those fire segues? Speaking of fire, though. Heroic, certainly looking a little in flames. I'm kind of impressed. I really didn't expect this. And again, I don't know where to chalk this up to. Either a great game from Heroic, which is unlikely considering they have a stand-in, who's playing well, bear in mind.
He's playing great. He's played
exactly.
great every time, I think, so far.
I've always been, I've always liked watching his tag. He's never been like the highlight player, it feels, for a team, but he's always just okay. He's been okay, and that's not a bad thing to have, but a good stand-in. Clearly, worth his weight here.
Surprisingly, AZ gets 80 ADR, but has 8 kills in the course of 15 rounds, and he's the highest on his team. So basically a kill every second round for the best of North. That speaks volumes in itself, not one player into double digits. As we head into halftime number 2, they'll start on the CT side. See if they can get that pistol.
Sorry, what's it called?
Pistol. It's a fancier version of it. Look, I like to put an E on the end of it, pronounce it Dirte, makes me sound off it, Joe Dirt.
Oh, I get it now. Got it. I thought it was like a cache thing or, diggity.
Oh, no, I'm not Australian, thank God.
All right, here we go. North, of course, with the lead. Still looking North with the lead. Tell a lie. It's Heroic with the lead. I kind of expect it to be North because they should be in the lead, but they're not. Maybe this is a chance to turn things around as MSL, Mertz, and Kiebi put up numbers finally and get this one started. This is better from them. They need a pistol round. They've been lacking them throughout this matchup. We saw that being the case, of course, on Nuke not too long ago. Modi not going to be out doing Kiebi there. So finally, North get a bit of a pistol round. Maybe they can build off this. Maybe there's hope. Maybe not.
Well, it's a start. That's certainly what you have to look at it. One round at a time. So with that, the M4 for Valda, MP9 for MSL, and 2 UMPs and a Scout. So the only real rifle in this, although the Scout's certainly damaging, is Valda. Scout is damaging. Mertz, it's a great shot to start it off against a Stag. He has tagged Essa.
See what you did there.
Thanks.
It's good. And for now, we should be seeing North keeping this relatively clean. Keep Valdo alive. Keep as many as we can alive, because they have been at the suffering side of having a very poor economy throughout the most part of this entire matchup. It's always been pretty dire. They've not won pistols. They've been punished. So for them, time to revel in that monetary value for a while. And that is great stuff. Between MSL and the other player up on Banana. Kiebi, where are you right now? Oh my god.
He sprayed into all of that. His teammate got all the kills, and then when it was his turn to shine, he was out of bullets.
Yeah, and everyone loves the Kiebi shaky aim sort of coming through. Like the guy, I don't know what he does with his mouse.
Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Thankfully, Valda gets an angle.
Gets a little worrying at that point, but they do recover the rifle. Well, they keep the rifle in the hands of Valde, should I say. So at least he's kind of sat pretty. They've built up a little bit of money. They're okay to repurchase into the bigger buy here, and of course for Heroic, it's time to just bow out of it. Let the round go over. If they buy a nade, why not? Just, maybe do a little something, soften them up for Snappy. It's completely a possibility, but I don't see it really working out for them here. Of course, Heroic looking to do whatever they can. We saw some cool ideas coming out from these teams when they're trying to get the plants going and such and so on. That would be great for Heroic. If they take any guns away, that would be very impressive, honestly. Unlikely, but impressive. Unless maybe Snappy can be the one to do it. He's over by T-Apps with his Deagle. Trusty Deagle as there's a tag. Gonna play whack-a-mole and he loses out. Mertz there with the Scout. Gonna find that. Smoke up towards the top mid. And really, you're not seeing much ground gain here, of course. Like, Heroic are looking for any chance.
Shoot that Glock more, I dare you. Does that have a little, what is on it?
Looks like a weasel.
It is a weasel.
It is a weasel.
It does say weasel. I like that the Weasel kind of jiggles when it shoots. I think that there should be more skins that involve moving parts. MSL and carry with kills. Like, for example, let's say the UMP has a nice long magazine on it. When you reload, it's like a mouth that opens and then closes when you put the next clip back in, magazine back in.
There's the Galil that has like the mouth on the side of the flap that kind of ejects the bullets.
Right, so it opens when it...
Yeah,
Yeah,
the skull on it. That
exactly.
was
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. I think that kind of stuff is pretty wicked.
All right, well, we finally get the purchase coming through. North going to get Mertz up on the AWP. Everything's looking good for them thus far, apart from the fact they have 6 rounds to 12, and Heroic on the other side have a buy themselves here. So Rubino this time actually really willing to take that fight against the AWP there.
Nico, already inside of the boiler room, will start to work down the stairs and potentially toward top middle. He wants to take a peek down the hallway first with Madi with him. Quick pre-fire. That certainly suggests they're in the hallway, but fair play. I want to clear the angle instead. They need 4 rounds, and North, certainly possible they could turn this around on Inferno. But that would start by turning this into a round on Inferno. Don't mind me.
You're literally in your own little world as well. Like, I'm like,
dude,
here just like
every day
staring
of
at the
my
game and it's
life,
like...
every day of my life. I literally say, like, my tweets are for my own entertainment. I don't really care. I just, you know, as long as I'm having a good time.
Well, we'll see if Heroic could be having a good time in this round. The smokes go up, the flashes go in. They have 3 players to get past. There's no one in pit this time, actually. They've stacked towards site, and they're already up, which is really kind of unique here. I haven't seen many people hold it like this. I don't know if it's going to work out. Mertz is, though. This guy knows how to get your attention, but S-Tag answers right back in. But Valde will be the surprise element. He's run through the other side. There was a chance that could have worked out if he maybe found some room or just held off, but it's MSL left in a 1v4. Bomb yet to be planted, but it doesn't matter. Nico hops up and over and finds him.
I thought Valde was actually just going to push straight through, catch the guy in pit. They were going to be smoked behind him, and he would just foil that whole thing. Somebody gets caught next to the box. Don't think he was fully aware of it, so we find 13 for Heroic, 3 to go. They'll bring out AKs across the board. Mertz not able to bring out an AWP. Will sit back on a CZ while his teammates will rifle it up. Boys.
I don't know what to do casting with you. You're the one who's normally like off-putting and annoying in a good way.
Yeah,
like now it's the
nice
other way around.
stipulation. I see that.
You know?
I see what you did there. You saved that.
Yeah, it's just at the very last second. It almost got away from me. But this little comeback might get away from North as well. They were looking good. They looked like that round could have been something to really build from. I don't know why they had 3 players basically towards the site rather than the usual kind of like pit split between it all. You see Kiebi kind of maybe flashed in by MSL. If they had one, flash goes up. In we go. The flash is not as good as we saw on the other side. We saw S-Tag being flashed in, and it worked out really, really well. This time not the case. Now they're winning out on every single place on the map they're fighting on. This is brilliant for Heroic. They've won 2 fights in 2 separate bomb sites, essentially, or kind of towards them, should I say. So now, North, where do you put your numbers? You're gambling here. You have no information. You're playing super blind at this point. And for Heroic, they've got utility, they've got smokes, they've got all the players up. You're just banking on one player having a big round here. And you've got AZ towards A. That's just as viable. Sure, he's a great player. No flashes, no kits, no nothing. It might just be time to back off from this.
Ain't got no nothing. AZ going to try and hold out from Arch. Certainly is backing away from it, so they're going to concede the A site. That's going to give 14 rounds now to Heroic. They're going to love this. Walk in, everything's clean. No way. They're gone. They have to save this as well. No kits already. They're going to have to buy those the next round. The utility to go on these 3 players. Can't see the money myself. There we go. Perfect.
Oof.
Oh, yeah, they can't even really drop. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
This game is, I don't know. I didn't expect this. Like, teams have had a little bit of time at home. Like, I don't mean a lot. Like, you know, people are still on the road, but yeah, it's kind of confusing, isn't it? Like, to me, normally it's like when you come straight off the back of like a day one after an event and people have to play, like you see weird results all over. Things just get a bit crazy. People are off, they're tired. But I don't know. This is a strange.
You know,
strange
be
look.
epic is if you remember the Doji nade.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Someone's just trolling, throwing a smoke over. They're probably talking about the same thing I am. Like all 5 of us are here. Just one nade comes in and wrecks all 5 this time instead. I think the smoke was literally a troll. Probably
just
talking
like,
about that. Yeah. Don't get naded, guys.
You just hear that like sound coming in. All right, timeout. A tactical one for North, and you know you don't blame them, but I mean, it feels like they're very flat. No, it's individually flat. The players don't look like they're in it quite as much as Heroic are. And it's good from Heroic. They're playing a great game. They've not kind of dropped the ball or got overzealous. They've been completely fine throughout. But for North, they need to turn a lot around if they want to get back into this matchup. They're a long way off from where they should be, and they know that. It's a timeout. Hopefully they've maybe come up with an answer, something that they can throw back into this, because their money's so shot. Everything is so hard to work around with. They've fashioned a buy. It includes the 2 UMPs, but they've got good utility finally, and they're so integral to this map to keep control, to be able to deny that easy step towards Banana. But again, this could all be undone by Heroic just hitting some bangers.
Snappy. Gonna rotate the bomb back over to the bottom of T stairs. No one pushing pressure onto Banana as of yet. Could be a battle that we wait for. And a tantalizing one at that. Oh, Kirby. That's... Yeah, sorry, man. Poor smoke at the bottom. Runs down, hopefully, and same thing for him. Like, I don't know what they're playing at. I really don't.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Even the horse is laughing at them.
Yeah, I'm a little baffled. Now, I guess the one redeeming factor here is that if Heroic continue to go towards A, they still have the 3 players here. They still have, you know, this close hold towards middle, which will completely fall apart if something goes wrong like this. Mertz goes down, and now you can see Valde instantly having to fall away from this. Pressure comes in towards CT Arch, and a little slow on the first, but the others have got through. Modi there going to find AZ, so again, it's just down to Valde. He got some great work done initially, but there was so little he could do beyond that. He's completely blocked off by smoke, and he gets just pinned to the wall. Modi going to close down this round, and Heroic are just head and shoulders above what North are bringing here.
There's a little thing that tends to happen at Pro League, and that's when Chad comes back in the studio, we end up going into overtime. So Chad's back in the studio,
Leave.
everyone, just to let you know.
Go away. Have you seen that Vine of the baby with, like, talcum powder?
No. Tell me more.
I will show you this afterwards. It's hilarious. It's just hilarious. I've gone on one of those like deep dives recently where it's like watching like Vine compilations. Oh, the lights have come on. It's like the club. It's, you know, when you're in the club, end of the night, lights up, and you're just like,
what you look like.
No,
Oh,
bring it back down.
Oh, thank you, bartender, for saving me.
There's no saving you, Matt.
No Coyote Ugly. There is no saving me. It's true, but it's fine. I don't want to be saved. Heroic, just
what is going on? Is this
are we calling a stop to this round?
Match
Yeah, I was going
medic.
to say we are going to get a match medic. So
I thought
it's
they were playing hopscotch.
It's obviously round 15. They're up against Pistols, but obviously
Why
something
is
has happened
Chad
on the north
here,
side.
and why are we
and so okay, so we figured it out. It's not overtime this time, but Chad is still certainly delaying things because we are now going to be spending some extra time dealing with some extra issues.
Yeah, and we get to come back on camera. Thanks,
It's
Chad.
the Beaver's fault.
Yeah, the beaver. I drew a nice little picture of a beaver for him.
Did you?
Yeah, I was bored in the hotel, and
Oh.
I wasn't able to check into my room yet. So he was kind enough to let
Really?
me chill out. Yeah, I was booked very last minute. So let me chill in his, got a coffee, and I drew him a nice little picture of a beaver.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'll do some nice little pictures for everyone.
Okay, what animal am I again? I can't remember. We had one for me.
I don't
Was
remember.
I like the... No, wait, who was... Jason was the vulture. Although I thought the bald
Bald
eagle was a
eagle.
little
Why is
better.
that-
I know.
Why did that not happen?
Beavers are traditionally Canadian. But,
I was gonna say, like-
I could just be the moose.
The moose.
For
I
more
can
reasons
maybe
than
make
one.
that happen.
Why is this pulling my hair? There we go. Are
you okay?
No.
You have a little breakdown?
Yeah.
Are you
it's
north
fine.
right now?
Maddie's going to be all right, okay?
He's gonna be okay.
Everything's going to be fine come morning.
Yeah, deep breaths, deep breaths. But yeah, so far a bit of a shambles of a game.
Yeah, I don't know what North's doing. I mean, the last round especially, they got a deep smoke down that was poorly thrown, had a gap in it.
Yeah.
They had no information and were late getting to Banana. They had one Molotov, but they know that Molotov also usually leaves people in the corner. Kirby just goes, yeah, I'll just push down, dead. MSL goes, well, I'll just throw the same smoke and do the same thing, pushes down, dead. So I don't really know what their game plan was there at all.
And
in
this
my
looks
opinion.
like another restart.
It certainly does.
Yeah. I saw Peacemaker, and I guess he didn't manage to join the side, so hopefully it's done quickly.
I mean,
it
does the
feel
coach
like a
really need to be
kindness
there
at
for
this point.
one last round, if that's what it is? I don't know if that's what it is or not.
Maybe he's making that much of a difference, Matt. That's the reason they're winning here. How dare you doubt him?
Maybe they should sub him in and he might make a difference.
15-6. I'm hoping this is the one. Again, Chad might need to leave the room so we can actually start this game up again. We're simulating triple overtime at this point. Go away. Why are you waving at me with one finger up? That's very rude.
No, it was the index. He's saying you're number one.
That's it. That makes sense now. Is this are we redoing this again?
We'll get through this. Eventually.
At some point, we'll make it.
Yeah, I mean, look, credit to Heroic. They're going to pick up 2 sensational wins tonight, and both relatively convincing, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, okay, it came to 8-7, but it's Nuke, and they had 7 rounds. They're up 6-1 at one point, T-side. So they're looking sharp, especially with the stand-in as well. You know, begs the question, you know, Yugi comes back. Obviously, he's going to be on the AWP.
Yeah.
How does Snappy do when he returns to the rifle? Because Estag's certainly an option in this scene now.
Yeah, and I think the topic was bandied around again of like having additional players to a roster, right? Who can like switch in and out. It's something no one's really tried with. And you love Overwatch. Let's get on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk, Matt.
What an esport. I think.
Joe, let's focus on the game, Matt. Let's.
We are
what
back
have I
into
done?
it. I think the interesting thing is though is that you could bring in map-specific players. I've always thought that might be a possibility, or you know, if you want to go double op or not in a certain situation. It's a lot to practice. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But it's certainly a conversation that's been brought up a few times among people in this scene. MSL holding top of the mid wall. Mertz on the other side. Monty's going to try and slip around behind them. So CZs and a Deagle to hold it off. We know what that means.
We do.
Means 4 kills will happen and the Deagle will miss every shot.
All right. Well, it's been called. We know. There's no other way around it. Has to be the case. It does seem as though B is going to be the option to begin with. Nice little flash in. On the corner. This time, Kirby can't be flashed in or played in. He's pretty much soloing things out. They have gone for the stack towards A. CZ to hand. He can smoke for himself. He can be kind of self-reliant to a certain degree, but I mean, beyond that, you're kind of just hoping. Good flash comes through. Again, just going through the motions, trying to show that there's more there than there is, but it is just him, and North not really finding much info until now, but that's the bomb in Snappy's hands. This could be quite problematic, but Nico's being a great little guardian here. Keep him safe. Tries to back away, and you can see the turn. Instantly, Heroic see the opportunity to strike, and they're right there.
So down and done, I'm sure, as AZ and Cabby try and do what they can. Monty wrap around. 16-6. Hey, the good news is North got 16 rounds tonight. Just not in one map like they would have liked to have done. As Cabby slowly dragging this on, with the bomb planted. Trying to be a little ninja. Already tagged once. Don't really know what he's playing for at this point, other than a little bit of fun, some glory. He's going to go get a kill on Rubino. And go down. Estag with the final kill puts us at 16-6.
And yeah, as said, overall, credit to Heroic there. Thoroughly impressed with what they've been able to achieve.
I'm really glad they used the color green. I don't think it's used enough anymore in sports and branding. I think it's a beautiful color. It has a lot of depth to it. And with that, we're going to bring in some of the deepest minds in all of Counter-Strike. I'm not even looking at the right camera. It's these guys over here.
Oh, you sweetheart. Thank you so much. Yes, I
I
do
agree
have
with the green statement.
You want more green?
Yeah, as
More
long
green.
as it's not Sprout.
British Racing
British
Green.
Racing Green.
British
I love
Racing
it.
Green is
It's
really good, especially when it's in a high gloss.
I have a
I think
fun
it looks better in a
fact
high
for you.
gloss than a matte.
Oh.
Do you know why British Racing Green came to be?
Tell me.
Because they had leftover paints from the Spitfires, and therefore they used it.
I think I did hear that
so
once.
cool.
Interesting,
And it was
isn't it?
Jaguar was one of the first companies to use it, I think.
And then it just basically
Yeah, I think
became a
that's
thing.
right.
Anyway,
Before we lose them,
yeah.
is
I mean, I
the
haven't lost
Jinx
already.
broken now? That I came in and
He
the
made
game
a
ended?
pause happen.
It did,
for
it
two
did
match
make a
medics.
pause. Yeah, it did, but we didn't
Did
go to
you do that,
overtime. So
Chad?
maybe just stay out of the studio a little
Yeah,
while.
but
I think we
then
need
I
a couple
came
more
in
weeks.
and I fixed everything.
That's true.
Thank you.
As always.
Yeah, round of
Thanks,
applause for
Yanko.
Yanko for fixing everything. Matt,
Big fan.
Lauren, awesome to listen to. We'll be back with the short casters. I think Hank's going to be back in the casting chair for your last series of the evening, but we'll love you and leave you. Mr. Chad, Mr. Yanko, breaking it down now on Inferno. Now, first things first, I know my Australian friend, you have a couple of points you really want to make.
I just think, you know, that first half, if you're only grabbing 4 opening kills on the T side and only converting 3 rounds, there's a direct correlation there, and it's not ideal. It's not ideal by any means.
I loved that CT side from Heroic early on because we were talking a lot recently about teams, players being lazy on that CT side of Inferno, not doing enough in terms of aggression, mid-round, solely focusing on Banana, or mostly at least. Heroic were doing great things throughout that first half. They were like doing the mid-round Banana aggression, you know, pop flash and get a kill there. Modi was pretty aggressive around Boiler. They were, you know, doing the boost. That's one of the things that you can do, the boost right in Boiler, under at the bottom of the stairs, basically. So they tried that couple of times. So I really loved, they really did a great job of disrupting North throughout that first half. Didn't allow them to play their own game, so to speak, and go for that default playstyle.
And in the first half, a lot through Snappy. How much more assertive does he look like when Yugi's not there, right? Like, he just looks like he's doing the AWPing duties, like the main AWPing duties. He's moving around a lot more. He feels like he's having a lot more impact. He's the in-game leader of this team, and he's at the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why he realizes the way they needed to play, right?
Yeah.
And even though Snappy is not, I think it's fair to say, not a very aggressive player by nature and by default, with Yugi gone, someone needs to take up the mantle, and probably him as the in-game leader realizing, okay, I know what needs to be done. I probably know how it should be done. I'm not sure if I can execute it, but I know I need to go for it. And he did a pretty good job of executing it here on Inferno.
Absolutely. And what's interesting as well is when this isn't the first time we've seen someone who is in the kind of isn't in the limelight when thrust into it because of a player not being there, like, such as using Yugi as an example. Some of them do just step up. There is there is evidence and proof that you cannot have a 5-star team.
Snappy has been playing Counter-Strike forever. He was a 1.6 like in-game leader back in the day, right? Him and Modi together have more than the other 3 players in that whole team in terms of history in Counter-Strike. And for him to still be able to frag at that level and to be able to have that level of impact against a team like North, who I was expecting a lot more from, to be completely fair, is fantastic.
And talking to North as well, would you just have to kind of close out this one as my nose starts to run? I apologize. Still under the weather just a little bit. But last port of call.
North still, a bit...
No, 12 rounds.
No, I thought like I was gonna save your nose, but
I just had a really cool thing about 12-12 because it was
do it.
So they lost 12 T rounds this round, and versus Envy just last week they lost 12 T rounds.
So they just suck.
So basically, there is nothing that can be redeemed about their Inferno. There isn't a side that's working. There isn't anything that's working.
But week 1 they beat Na'Vi, who are pretty good Inferno
That's
team.
true.
So
yeah, but very volatile in their own right.
Yeah. Well, they're still finding how much time we give.
Yeah, exactly. How many times are we gonna
guys?
say, yeah, let's give them more time? I mean, in my eyes, had this weekend, that's 2 or 3 days of just practicing. Also on the days where you have official games, we're gonna play Inferno at least 7 to 8 times since last play week. At least that's my assumption, right? So that should be more than enough for you to set up both of your sides, enough to beat Heroic with a standard. So at the end of the day, it is an online game. It can be an off day for North, but they need to start showing some positive trends soon. Otherwise, you can get really
south.
you can.
Oh, I love it, and we'll leave it there. Perfect. Yes, North are looking for answers, and they haven't found them today. Heroic dismantling them, especially on Inferno, convincing victories on both Nuke and Inferno. But now we're going to take an extended break. The game is not scheduled to start for another 25, but don't worry, we'll keep you entertained until then, and be right back to break it all down as we venture into G2 versus Astralis.
Hey Future Pros! The Deagle is one of the most powerful pistols in CSGO. Mastering this hand cannon can win you eco after eco. The Deagle kills with one shot to the head, but when used at extreme ranges, this is not the case. The best time to shoot is just after your view model resets. Moving and shooting with this weapon won't get you very far. It also takes a while for the pistol to regain accuracy after falling, so make sure you wait a bit before firing. Don't spam the thing too. Be sure to make slow, singular, controlled shots for maximum accuracy. And now let Nico take it away.